And now I'm going to create a new variable. Oops. And I'm going to call it, it'll be of type Boolean. Oops. And it'll just be a B, semicolon. Oh, let's initialize it to true. Okay, now it turns out true is a keyword. True and false are both keywords. So now, if we change the arguments to the message box show function, we'll just say b dot toString, like that. Okay? Let's see what happens. True enough, it's true. Now let me also show you, this is a little bit more advanced, but let me just show you, let's replace this statement inside the show to this. J greater than I. Okay. Now remember, from up here, I was 47, J was 53, and then J becomes 47 plus 53, which is 100. So J is 100 and I is 47. So here, we're going to use the greater than sign to do a comparison. The greater than is what's called an operator, and we'll discuss those in greater length in the coming weeks. But what this statement asks is J greater than I? And the answer is going to be yes. The answer is going to be true. Okay? So let's make sure that that returns a true. Let's build this code. Oh, that won't work. It says there were build errors. Would you like to continue and run the last successful build? No. What was the error? It was expecting a string and we gave it a Boolean. That was my mistake. What we got to do is surround the statement in parentheses and then follow that up with a period and a toString. Okay, like so. Okay, oops. Now let's try it. So the result should be true because 100 is greater than 47. True enough. Now let's just make sure that we're not imagining anything. Let's swap this sign to be less than. So clearly 100 is not less than 47, so we should get false. Sure enough, false. Okay, let's try another variable type. Now this next one we're going to cover in greater depth later in the course, but I wanted to introduce you to it because it is extremely useful. I find it very useful in all of my programming. And it's an enum. Enum is short for enumeration. And what this does is it defines a set of integers, each having its own name. Now why would this be useful? Remember back in the Windows introductory class, I talked about colors being represented in terms of their red, green, and blue components in a computer. So the color red, for example, corresponds to a value that is 255, 0, and 0. Okay, and we can actually represent that as an integer, and we can call it red. And we can have another value, blue, which would be represented by 0, 0, 255. And we can represent those three numbers as one big integer. Well, we can have a bunch of these, but are we going to declare a separate variable for every single color? Well, it turns out we don't have to. We can actually create an enumeration of basically a list of several colors, and then we can call each one by its name. So let me show you an example of that. Defaultly, it's the range is the same as an integer, and it takes up the same amount of space as an integer, so 4 bytes. And it's handy for variables that can only take on a limited set of values and/or whose values need to be displayed as meaningful strings. So let's actually create our own color enumeration. Turns out .NET defines one for us, but just for the sake of exercise, we're going to define a few colors of our own. So back to Visual Studio, and I'm going to declare a new variable. Actually, I'm going to declare a new enumeration, and what I got to do first is declare it outside of our function. I declare it here. So I'm going to say enum myColor enter. And then I'm going to do an open curly brace, and then on the next line after that, I'm going to start defining a couple colors. How about red equals for right now, I'm just going to give it some random values. 45, actually comma, oops, blue equals 234, we'll say. Just pulling these values out of my head. These aren't the actual RGB codes for these guys. And how about green? 567. Why not? Okay. And now in our so what I've actually done is I've created an enumeration type called myColor. Okay, just like we have integer, boolean, all those other types. Now there's a new type called myColor that I've defined all by myself. So now back here in our click function, I'm going to declare a new variable called of type myColor, and I'm going to call it a C for color. And I can actually assign it a myColor value. Okay, so after myColor, I add a period, and now, although you can't see it in the magnifier glass, it shows the context-sensitive help shows me the possible values of the color enumeration. Let's pick blue. I'm going to double-click. Okay, and semicolon. Now inside the show, I'm going to say C.toString.